What's up, people? So I'm back, and today's video is about how to write exams. Uh, I, I wanted to make this informative and not to miss any points. That's why I'm making a separate video about it, and that's why I didn't made it in the morning. And before we start the video, one small disclaimer: these are the things which I tried and tested. It might work for you, and it might not. So viewer discretion is advised. The YouTube only failing are So there are three main things that everyone should be keeping in mind while writing an exams: the content, the presentation part, and the time management. And the fourth thing that plays a crucial role also is luck, because you don't know who will be checking your paper, and we'll discuss about that in the later part of the video. So first, let's start with content. So content is the main thing that you write in your paper. So as we discussed in the previous video, क्यों कहाँ कैसे, if you know any these three things about any topic, then you can elaborate it, and if you're creative enough, you can write many more points than any average person. Like, why do you use the topic, where do you use the topic, and how do you use this topic? If you know these three things, that's well and good, and that would be very helpful for writing more number of points. And the next thing comes is buffer points. So buffer points is a thing that I have come across personally. I didn't read it up anywhere else. This is the my own concept, I guess. So buffer points are those points which are most of the times common to most of the topics. For example, the key points would be what we call cost, resources, time, energy, etc. So there are, for example, this topic is cost effective, this topic is time efficient, it reduces the time taken for doing these things. So there are many points when you analyze different questions. So there are many points which are repeated or which are generic points. So this, I name them as buffer points. You can write in every question, every answer, so as to reduce the number of so as to increase the number of points that you write and increase the chances of getting more marks. And the next thing is diagrams. Diagrams are very important, because diagrams shows on the paper checker, or it creates an impression of you that you know certain more about that topic. And diagrams have their own separate marks uh, in the answer. So if there is diagram, he'll give marks for that. If there is no diagram, he'll give marks excluding the marks of the diagram. So diagrams are very crucial. You should be drawing it no matter what. If there is a diagram for that particular topic, even if there is no diagram for a particular topic, but you can draw a diagram, then it is very much advised that you can draw the diagram. For example, there is a topic contains certain percentages of things, then you can draw a pie chart indicating the different percentages. That also gives a good impression and increase the probability of you getting more marks. Okay, so next is the marks and number of points. How many points you should write for a particular marks question? So the general rule of thumb is, for 1 point it's half a mark. So for similarly, say for 2 marks question, you write 4 points. For 4 mark question, you write 8 points. For 5 marks, 10 points. So but personally I feel like, for marks which are more, say for 5 marks, I usually write points more than 10, like 11 points or 12 points. And if there is a diagram, then you can obviously reduce the number of points. And here's a very good psychological trick, you may say. It's the star and arrow marking. Instead of noting your points as 1, 2, 3, 4, don't use those. Use a star or either an arrow, because if you number the points, the paper checker would obviously know how many points you have written. This trick is used if you don't know if you will be able to write the specific number of points. So writing this in general will gives you a better chance of scoring marks. This is my personal opinion. I also always used to draw an arrow or a star mark. So next point is how papers are checked. So what should you know that how papers are checked? So when we write an exam, we have an answer booklet, like there's a booklet of 40 pages, we write answers in that. Similarly, the paper checker has a booklet which is key booklet, so it has the answers of all the questions in the paper, like all 6 questions. We only write 4 questions. What he'll do is he'll take that answers in that booklet and he'll match that with your answers. And obviously paper checker is not a novice. He's also a professor. He's been working in that field for many years. Who knows? So he can tell based on the content that you write whether you have written the proper thing or not. So with his experience and the answer booklet, he can quickly determine your answers. So content is very important means if you write few key points, then that's well and good, that's okay. And the buffer points, diagrams, all these things you should keep in mind. And for maths steps के लिए marks मिलेगा, हाँ मिलता है. Next, presentation. I don't know how to stress how important presentation is, because the jump I made and the thing that I implemented which resulted in my marks growing is presentation itself. Personally, my handwriting is very bad. Even if you tell me to write it today, it's very bad. So it's not bad from engineering or something, it's bad from the start itself. I never had a good handwriting. So in the first semester I got D and C in physics and chemistry, so that's the theoretical subjects. So in the next semester I improved my presentation and I got O grade in both physics and chemistry. So that's the importance of handwriting. Even if you have a bad handwriting, the next 3 points covers it. So my handwriting did not improve obviously, like overnight, but I use the next 3 points to make my answers more presentable. So the first 3 points are proper spacing, underlining and margin. Proper spacing is important. So how did I do that? In between 2 words give proper spacing, in between 2 points give a line of gap, 1 line of gap between 2 points. This is what I did. Underlining the key points from any topic is also important. Underline the main key points which you want the paper checker to see, and to make him tell him that you know about this topic. So underlining is also important, and margins come at the end. If you are able to save some time, if you are able to complete the exam before the 3-hour time limit, definitely use margins to separate your answers and make it more presentable. So for presentation, think it as simple. I am a paper checker and I have to check 100-200 papers in a day. What would I expect to see? What do I want to see? I want to see a nice paper with proper presentation which is readable, with answers which are readable and not crossing marks, cut marks and everything. So presentation gives a good impression about you on the paper checker. So that's the key, that's have been the key for me. But for you, if you have a good writing, that well and good, and if you're able to properly present your answers, then the number of content, even if it is less, it doesn't matter much. Okay, so next, time management. Many scholars think, oh भाई मेरे को तो सब टॉपिक्स मैंने सब मॉड्यूल पढ़ लिया, सब मैं तो आराम से मार्क्स ला लूँगा. So people think like that. That's true, I have seen it personally, but that's not the case in exam. When you are in the exams, you know the pressure, you feel the pressure, and you don't manage time. So time management is a key for gaining good marks. So how? So the paper is of 3 marks. I'm talking about strictly the major subjects, not the subjects which might be of 2 hours or 3 hours, 2 hours or 1 hour, almost. EVS, communication skills, etc. So in 3 hours you have to write 4 questions, out of which question 1 is compulsory. So it takes 45 minutes, like 3 hours by 4 questions is 45 minutes. So you have to write your questions under 45 minutes. If you are exceeding that, then you are doing very badly. Personally, if I ever exceeded 45 minutes for one question, I would leave space for that particular answer and I would move on to the next question. because you don't want to waste time after one single question. It's simple to understand. Say if I write one question which carries 10 marks, and in the other scenario I write two questions of 10 marks. So in the first situation, there's a very much high chance that I would get 10 on 10 on the first question, even if I write the entire answer perfectly, because some paper checkers doesn't want to give full marks for answers. Whereas in the second scenario, if I write half and half, more than half, for two questions, then there's a chance that the paper checker might give me 6 marks for each question, each answer. So that's the total of 12 marks, so I'm gaining 2 marks. So that's the mindset or the thinking process, my thinking process. It might not be applicable to all, so that's what I used to do and think. So if you are exceeding 45 minutes, move on to the next question, and try to maintain your time, like keep a watch, keep looking at it, answers your question as fast as possible and in a presentable manner, and extra end time. So if you are able to write your all the answers before 3 hours time, use the time to recheck your answers, recheck your calculations, use your learn to how to use your calculator properly. It's very much important to learn how to use your scientific calculator. It will definitely save you more time. And do not leave any questions unanswered. Like out of those 4 questions, try to answer as much possible. That will give you a better chance at getting marks. So that's for time management. Managing time is very much important, because many people who are good scholars also, they get in the time management trap. Like in the exam there's a lot of pressure, you're feeling anxiety, you're sweating like crazy. So that's the things that happen in exams. Saying is easy, but being in an exam and thinking is very much tough. Even if there's no sudden imminent danger, the pressure makes you feel like it's the end of the world. Okay, so next thing comes is luck. Luck is something that you don't have control over, because the person who is going to check your paper, he might be, you can't predict his behavior. So he might be a newly joined professor, or someone who is very much senior, or someone who has a good amount of experience. So everyone is different, everyone's method of checking papers is different. Method in the sense their own personal feelings also matter, or how was their day, is his mood good, is his mood off, who knows. So luck, even if you get a few less marks based on luck, then you don't need to worry, it happens to the best of us. So that's the point for luck. And if you don't know, then your first year and fourth year papers are checked by externals, and your second year and third year papers are checked by your internal college faculty itself. But from different department, it may vary for some branches. So that's the thing. So even if you get less marks in first year, that's not a big deal. You can easily recover them in your coming up semesters. And in fourth year, people don't usually give KTs to people, because obviously fourth year में KT देके क्या क्या करेंगे, छोड़ देते बच्चों को, ठीक है. So that's the thing, and hopefully things are very much little clear to people who are watching this video. And even if this video helps a single person, that would be very, like, I would be very happy. I don't care how many people watch this video, but even if a single person gets help from watching these videos or improve his marks, that's enough. So signing off for today. Bye guys.